don't think this book will ever get read, because what do you mean I took it out of the library 4 times and downloaded the ebook, and it was a book club book, and I still didn't read it. Hello everyone, welcome to book 5 of Bookmas. Today we're going to talk about all the books that I didn't get to read this year and I desperately wanted to, so I low-key regret not reading. Any of these, I don't really remember the summaries or what the book is even about, but I just know that I desperately wanted to read it and I missed out. First book, The Master and the Margarita. All I know about this book is that it's a Russian book, like Russian literature. It has a really nice cover. I got this one for like the 50th anniversary. I'm dumb, I can't read. This was my vibe when I bought it, and I am definitely going to read it at some point, but I didn't end up reading it. It was in my summer TBR and it was not read. You Dreamed of Empires was on like 3 different monthly TBRs. It was never read, and like look how short this book is. My dad got it to me as a gift and it was actually on my TBR and he didn't even know it's on my TBR, and he told me like a book is arriving and I'm like, what? It's a gift for me? And he's like, yeah, it's this book. And I'm like, I remember the synopsis and I'm like, wait, is it this book? And he's like, yeah, it is. So I was so excited. And then I got this in March, I'm pretty sure, or maybe in February, and then I didn't read it. And what was so crazy is that this is set like a reimagined Tenochtitlan. So kind of like if colonization didn't happen, or like the way it happened, if it hadn't happened that way. And I was in Mexico City for 2 months and I brought it with me. I still did not read it. This is on the top of the TBR for next year, definitely. Okay, so I was meant to reread Six of Crows and then finally read Crooked Kingdom, and I did not do either or. I did not reread Six of Crows, and I obviously did not get to this book. I wanted to read this so bad, and every time I was like craving a new book, I was like, am I gonna read it this time? No, I did not. My December TBR includes rereading Six of Crows, so maybe that's gonna happen. But reading this one, definitely not happening. I was also meant to read the Hunger Games series for the first time. I have never read the series. Can you believe that I've never read the Hunger Games, right? And so I watched the movies, but just never read the books. And she's coming out with a new book. I haven't read any of her books, not one book she has written. And my sister actually acquired this set from like a school library, I think. And I was meant to read it. I was even meant to make a video about it. I didn't do it. Not having read the Hunger Games is kind of crazy, you know? These are all the other physical copies that I just never got to. And then after this, we're gonna have a shit ton of ebooks. First one, Half a Soul. I purchased this off of like a used bookstore thing. I forget the name. But yeah, Half a Soul, it's kind of like this Regency fairy tale, Bridgerton, like fantasy Bridgerton. And I bought this one because everyone loved it and I thought I would love it, and I was in my Bridgerton era, and because the new season of Bridgerton had just came out, I was like, I'm gonna buy this book, I'm gonna make a whole video about like Regency books. Not only did I did not even finish the new season of Bridgerton, but I of course did not film that video, and I did not read this book. Spring 2025, I'm going to read the book. For that video, I was also meant to read Jane Austen's Emma, and then I didn't. This one is crazy. The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. I bought this for a book club. I started like the first 10 pages on ebook and I could not get into it. I could not understand it. So I was like, I'm gonna purchase the physical copy so that I read it. I purchased the physical copy and did not read the book. Now, like, I don't know when I'm gonna read the book because there's so many fantasy series, which this is more like a fantasy sci-fi, but there's so many fantasy series I want to get to in 2025 that like this is not even at the top of the TBR. These 2 are actually books that my mom really liked, and then I was like, oh wait, I'm also gonna read them, and then I didn't. Brilliant Friend. This one actually, was this number 1? I think this was number 1 of the like some sort of prize. I'll put it up here, the name. But I'm pretty sure this, I think it was the New York Times best books of the decade or the century. Wait, New York Times best books of the 21st century, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it is. And my mom adored this and everyone was raving about it. And I was like, June and July, I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna read this book June and July. I'm gonna read the whole series. As a matter of fact, my mom has the whole series. I was gonna read the whole series. It didn't happen. But this is actually a series that I will read in 2025. If I don't read this book, and I don't vlog it, You can come back to this video and yell at me. The other book, Lessons in Chemistry. This is a whole ass hardback. Actually, this has a funny background story to it. So basically, I had found this book somewhere. Like, I had heard people talk about this book and I was like, huh, it's really interesting. And then I ended up talking to my mom about this book and about like the summary and what the book was about. And then she bought this book because she was interested in reading it. And then she read the book. So I'm the one who introduced to her this book, and I still haven't read it. I'm gonna be completely honest, I think it's the cover that's like making me not want to read it. The rest are ebooks that I wrote them down and I'm gonna go through them kind of quickly. I don't know. First, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I took out this book, I'm pretty sure, at the library, like an ebook copy. I not only did I let my hold elapse for the first time and they delivered it again, I checked it out and never opened that copy for the entire 3 weeks that I had it checked out. Not only am I a bad person because other people likely had the book on hold, I also just didn't read a series that I was meaning to read. Listen for the Lies. This was another book club book that I did not even read. Oh, actually, fun fact, I got it once, right? I was like, deliver later. They delivered it later, and then I didn't even check out the book. It was like, your hold elapse. You're not getting it. And I was like, Will of the Many. I actually started this book, and I'm like 33% in, and then I put it down, returned it to the library, and never picked it back up. Another one, One Dark Window. I started reading it. I was like 30 pages in, and then I stopped. Whoops. Heartless Hunter. Oh, Heartless Hunter has the funniest story. Not only did I check this out once, I renewed it. I renewed it a second time. It was still not read, right? Then when I came back from my travels, I renewed it. I actually have a copy right now from the library. Let me get it. Here it is. Here's a copy of Heartless Hunter. Maybe this is actually the copy I had like 5 months ago. I think I checked this out at the library maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm gonna return it again, not having read it, and then I also downloaded it as an ebook. And it was a book club book. I was looking at the pile of library books and I fear this is also one that I'm not gonna end up finishing. I mean, I don't know. It's not in my December TBR. I'm gonna try to finish it, but I'm only 60 pages in. But it was really good. This one's like, initially when I round up all the books, I was like on the fence. I was like, yeah, I'm going to finish it this year. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might not. Next, The Safe Keep. This I also loaned from the library and then didn't read it. But to be fair, I had an excuse. I was filming a video that week, and then the end of the week, I was flying out of the country for 2 months. And so I had to return all my books to the library. So, you know, that one I have an excuse, and I am going to put it at the top of the TBR for 2025. Premise is so interesting. Sapphics, historical romance, but kind of like creepy elements to it. It sounds so good. So I am determined to read this in my lifetime, but 2024 was not the year. The Dragon Republic, Book 2 of the Poppy War. I was also meant to finish the entire Poppy War series. I got the Dragon Republic from the library and then returned it without having read it. And then I was meant to purchase a box set of the Poppy War for my birthday, and then I didn't. So many times I could have read the books, and then I didn't. The Housemaid and the Reappearance of Rachel Price, 2 books I got from the library, 2 like mystery thriller-y, but one's YA. And also never got to them. It was at the point when I had like 22 books out from the library and I was really having to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And yeah, I didn't read them. Okay, these are like ebooks that I downloaded. I was so excited. Like, they were anticipated releases, spring and summer anticipated releases. I included them in my spring and summer anticipated release video. Like, I was so into these books. And then I didn't read them. Like, I was so excited. I honestly had a countdown on my calendar app. Not a countdown, but I had it marked on my calendar app that it was coming out this specific day because I was so excited to read it. And then I never read it. That book is The Wedding People. I can't believe it. It also won like a Goodreads like best of 2024. Like, the universe was telling me to read it this year and I didn't. I failed that task, and I'm miserable because of it. Love My Afterlife, a novel love story, Margot's Got Money Troubles, and The X-Files. All spring and summer releases, romance books. I was gonna have like the time of my life this summer, read them all. Not one of them got read. And I was so excited for The X-Files specifically because it's X to lovers, and I love X's to lovers. Like, that's one thing about me. It's my favorite romance trope, X's to lovers. I will always read an X's to lovers book, and this one had such good reviews. It was on my radar for so long, and then I just didn't read it. Like, I don't know why. A Dark and Drowning Tide. This is like a fall release, sapphics. I was so excited to read it. Also a book club book, I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe not. Didn't read it. The last two, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King and The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. Those are 2 and 3 in the Crowns of Nyaxia, Serpent and Wings of Night, not trilogy, but like series. So number 2, I loaned from the library. It was a whole ordeal. I found it on the shelves, the new release shelves, right? I had it on hold. I was like person 20, right? I find it on the new release shelves. I'm like, there's no way, this is fate. This is fate. I grab it. I'm so excited. I'm running from joy. I'm ecstatic, honestly. I check it out. They won't let me check it out. I go to the little librarian and I'm like, hello, ma'am. I would really like to check out this book, but they're not letting me. So could you help me out? And she goes, of course, lovely. Actually, it's because there's a bunch of holes on this and it's supposed to be somewhere else, but you know what? For you, I'll let you check it out. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. It was never read. All of that, and it was never read. Book 3. Technically, I have an excuse. It came out in November, so I have an excuse. But I was meant to read book 2. Oh, also? No, this is me being bitter at AF. I requested book 3 off of NetGalley and never got it. So I think it's the universe punishing me for having done that whole thing for The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King just to not read it. I think honestly that was it. Also, this is so embarrassing, but these books don't even include the like 15 plus books I have started and did not finish. You want to go through that list? Actually, let's go through that list really quickly because this is an embarrassing list. It's embarrassing. One second, he wants to go out so bad. He wants to abandon us. Okay, these are all the books. I'm not gonna put the title, like photo or whatever. I'm just gonna put it in a list. I'm gonna be too lazy when I edit this. These are all the books I'm in the middle of and still have not finished. Woodcutters, The Villain Edit, The Will of the Many, Dark Rise, How to Bite Your Neighbor and Win a Wager. Okay, a bunch of fan fiction. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, The Husky and His White Cashizoon Volume 6, Fun Home, Vicious, The Bletchley Riddle, Blood Over Bright Haven, Say I Do. To be fair, look at this list. Look at the amount checked off. Now that I'm thinking of it, like, that's an accomplishment. I checked some of those off. Okay, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching me be a complete and utter loser. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please stick around and consider subscribing and also liking the video. I love you guys a whole lot. I will see you soon, in 2 days specifically, for my next Bookmas video. And I probably will not be... Did that light turn off? Was it there earlier? Bye guys. Love you so much. Like, actually, genuinely, I hit 250 subscribers and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Look, it goes out of focus. It's actually kind of cute when it goes out of focus.